Dear students, in this video, we are going to discuss about Ohm's law. Ohm's law is the law which studies the dependence between potential difference and the current flowing through a conductor. Now, you know that if you have a conductor, that conductor will be having many free electrons, but the motions of those free electrons would be so random that they would not be constituting any kind of electric current, because electric current means flow of charge carriers in a particular direction. But unless and until a conductor is connected to the two terminals of the battery, you cannot expect the current to be flowing. Rather, what will happen due to thermal effects, all the free electrons of that conductor will be randomly moving, in random directions. So since they will be moving in random directions, so their average thermal velocity would overall amount to zero. But now you need to understand this, that whenever a conductor is connected with the two terminals of the battery, the two ends of the conductor are subjected to a potential difference. And because of that potential difference, the charge carriers will start moving. Just have a look how. Suppose you have a conductor here and its two ends are connected to the two terminals of the battery. One end to the positive terminal and the other end to the negative terminal. Now, what is going to happen? These electrons, free electrons, will be accelerated towards the positive terminal of the battery. More potential difference you will apply, more powerful battery you will apply here, more electrons will be moving, and hence the charge flowing per unit time will increase, and hence current will increase. So the potential difference applied by you is directly proportional to the current, and when this proportionality will be removed, you are going to get a constant, and that constant is resistance R. So the overall relation becomes V is equals to IR. And then if you want to study more about R, resistance, just extract its mathematical form. It will be V upon I, which is a constant of proportionality. R is equals to V upon I. This means voltage per unit current will give you resistance. But what is resistance? See, we were expecting that the more powerful battery I'll apply, more amount of current will flow through the conductor. I thought that instead of 10 volts, if I'll apply 20 volts, more current will flow through this conductor. Though the thinking was not entirely wrong, but I need to look upon this fact that when the charge carriers will start accelerating, when these electrons will start accelerating towards the positive terminal, then in the way they will encounter atoms and they will make collisions with those atoms. And when they'll collide with the atoms, eventually they will lose some part of their energy. And when they'll do so, when they lose some part of their energy, so they'll slow down and the charge flowing per second will be reduced. So this property is known as resistance. The obstruction to the flow of current, the hindrance to the flow of current is known as resistance of a material. But remember that resistance depends upon nature of the substance. Every material has different amount of resistance. In the next video, we will look upon the fact on what factors does the resistance depend. But before that, I need to tell you that V upon I is equals to R, which means if I'll plot a graph between V and I, V taken on y-axis, I taken on x-axis. So the slope will give you resistance, because mathematical form of slope is y coordinate upon x coordinate, isn't it? So V upon I graph you have here, and its slope will give you resistance. Fine. So you are going to have a tricky question here. Suppose you are given with 2 to 3 substances whose resistance you are required to compare from the graph. If a graph given is VI graph, then V upon I is equals to R, which means the slope of graph will give you resistance, because slope means y coordinate divided by x. So in that case, we also know that slope is equals to tan theta, and tan theta is equals to perpendicular by base. So more perpendicular means more slope. Now see, this is the material A's V by I graph, and this is material B's VI graph. I want to know which out of these two is having higher resistance. See, its perpendicular is less, or you can say its theta is less, so its slope is less. And its slope is more, isn't it? It's theta. The angle that it is subjecting is more, and of course perpendicular by base ratio will be more. So this means B has higher resistance as compared to A. Resistance of material B is greater than resistance of material A. So this is a conclusion from VI graph, if a VI graph is given to you. But suppose you are given with IV graph, and if V by I is equals to R, I by V will be equal to 1 by R. Okay, so this time you are given with IV graph, I on y-axis, V on x-axis. This time the slope will be y by x ही लेना होता है हर बार, so I by V. But I by V is equals to 1 upon R. So this time you can see that the slope of B is more. Slope of B for material B is more than slope for material A. So slope of B is 1 by R value of B, and slope for A means 1 by R value of A for IV graph. So now you know that if you will take the reciprocals, this sign will revert and it will become less than. Like if you have 1 by RB greater than 1 by RA, if you will take reciprocals RB and RA, this sign will reverse. For example, you know that 3 is greater than 2. If you will take the reciprocals 1 by 3 and 1 by 2, this sign will be reversed. It will become less than, because 1 by 3 is something 0.33 and 1 by 2 is 0.5. Okay, so that way when we take the reciprocals in inequalities, the inequality sign changes. So this means in this case the resistance for B is less than the resistance for A. And now we will deduce Ohm's law. How to do that? See, we know that drift velocity is given by E tau by m. Okay, and this E stands for electric field. Electric field is potential difference per unit length. I'll substitute that. After that, I know that current equals to NEABD. I had derived in the previous video the relationship between current and drift velocity. So now the value of current, NEA remains as it is. The value of VD will put from here to here, and ultimately we'll get the value. Okay, and when we'll get the value, so this is I is equal to something into V. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We'll be doing V upon I. V upon I. Take I here and take this stuff here. So this will be ml divided by n e square a tau. But V by I is nothing but resistance. So this is the value of resistance. ml divided by ne square 8O. Okay.